Well, I want to welcome you to our GMDH Streamline webinar. My name is Lance, and it's going to be my pleasure to take you through the webinar and demonstrating Streamline. Today, we're going to cover some of the challenges in forecasting and planning, a little bit about ourselves, and a demonstration of Streamline, our forecasting and inventory planning solution. Okay, without overstating the obvious, forecasting and planning are both very important. It allows us to better understand our future needs, better support our customers, and allows us to predict a more accurate financial picture of the future. Until now, forecasting hasn't been easy. Sometimes there are just too many items to plan. It's not an easy process to get all the information consolidated from everyone involved, and getting a consensus view is often even more difficult. On top of that, there's the human factor of actually doing the forecasting and planning, and the issues of inaccurate forecasts. A little bit about us. GMDH LLC was founded in 2009. We use our expertise in forecasting using a family of algorithms called GMDH, which stands for the Group Method of Data Handling. It's a highly accurate method of forecasting, which until now has been used in scientific research and data analysis, and we are just bringing it to business forecasting and inventory planning now. Some of the things that we offer when you purchase is a proof of suitability for the project using your data. We offer flexible and highly scalable software solutions. Our technical support is top rate, so is our training, and our customer support is something we pride ourselves on. Here's some of our customers. We have customers that range across a wide range of industries. Some very popular, famous names that we're particularly proud of, but we're proud of all of our customers. Some of the benefits and features of Streamline are demand forecasting and planning and revenue planning, support decision-making with the data that you receive, gathering and managing the right data, taking information from your ERP system or from any other system really that has an ODBC connector, bringing it into Streamline and being able to manage, plan, and forecast right within Streamline. We offer inventory planning and optimization and replenishment and order planning, which makes all of the data analysis and forecasts actionable, which is important. It's nice to have a forecast, but without making it actionable with things like inventory planning and replenishment, that's what really makes it much more powerful. Some of the advantages of Streamline, well, our objectives are improving customer performance, increasing sales, reducing inventory levels so your carrying costs are lower, and some of our results, planning by products, different product groupings, stores, warehouses, and locations. We've been able to have a huge impact on improved forecasting, planning, and accuracy, reduced inventory, and reduced inventory carrying costs, and frozen working capital, an improvement in customer service level, both fill rates and on-time deliveries, and a large impact and increased planner productivity with simultaneous reduction of time spent on manual planning processes. Okay, some of the things that we do when we first start a project with your setting objectives, we'll provide a demo project, excuse me, and technical support. We have built-in data integration with QuickBooks, Microsoft Dynamics, MYOB, but we're also able to connect to any other databases and ERP systems, anything that has an ODBC connector, and even some that don't. And anything that we don't currently connect to, our software team can get you up and running with a new ERP system, even when we haven't seen yet, within 6 weeks. Generally, it's less than that. After the sale, training and customer support, we offer training sessions and workshops, customer support, and the evaluation of your process improvement. Okay. Some of the things that you'll be seeing shortly are our ability to plan by item or location. Streamline's able to have multiple hierarchies. We'll be going over that shortly. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how easy it is to bring data into Streamline. I'm going to show you Streamline with two different examples. The first is just going to be a very simple example using the spreadsheet connection, which is the easiest way to get information into Streamline. Okay. You only have to do this once, but we have to tell Streamline what the different columns in the spreadsheet represent. So, you know what? I apologize. I should show you first what it is that I'm bringing in. So let's do that. This is the spreadsheet. I'm going to open this, and you can see the only information that's absolutely required for forecasting is a unique identifier. Most companies would call that a SKU. We also need the historical data. Here you see the historical data aggregated to the month. We can also use the data aggregated to the week, which is generally used by companies that have perishable products. But that's it. That's all you need for forecasting and demand forecasting and sales forecasting. In addition to that information, you see that we also have store and group. You can add additional information, and by doing that, you're able to have hierarchies or groupings, and I'm going to show you that within Streamline right now. So now that I've shown you the information in the spreadsheet, I just want to show you how to bring that in. Okay, so we have to tell Streamline what the categories represent, what the columns represent, and I'm going to create a two-level hierarchy. So I'm going to make this one category. We'll make another category. And for item code, that's the unique identifier. And you'll see that Streamline, first off, knew that our columns should be rows, automatically transposed those. And additionally, it's showing us the rest of the information in the spreadsheet. So if we remember that we had the information aggregated per months, that's the same information we saw in the spreadsheet. And now I'm just going to click OK and bring the information into Streamline. That's it. So I'm going to expand the information, and what you're going to see is the same information that we saw in the spreadsheet with the same hierarchy that you saw me build. And by clicking the forecast button, I'm going to forecast all of our items at once. That's it. Streamline is very fast. I'm going to pick the first item. And what you see is that the gray line that you see down here represents 2 years of data. And actually, September is now complete. We're at the end of September. I'm going to reforecast. Okay. The gray line represents the historical data. We have 2 years of historical data here. You can also see the same information as actual sales in the table up here. Now, if you need to, you're able to change the information within Streamline without going back to your original spreadsheet or your original data source, which is helpful. The blue line represents the statistical model that Streamline has made from the historical data. And basically, it's a mathematical representation of the historical data that we've given Streamline. And we see it as the blue line in the chart, and you see it as the statistical forecast in blue in the table. And beyond where the historical data ends, right, we're at the end of September, is where the forecast begins. So it's an extension of the model that was created, and just beyond where the actual data is becomes the forecast, which you see right here. Now, it's very easy in Streamline to add our own insight. The forecast that you see is very accurate, but it's based on the historical data. So if there's information that you know that wouldn't be represented in the historical data, for example, let's say we were going to have a sale in December. So we knew we were going to sell 95 because of that sale. Very easy. And if you watch the graph, as soon as I tab off, you'll see that the application already took that information into account. Another nice thing is that I can take and make a note, so I can annotate any of the changes. So it'd probably help if I could type. But we can annotate any of our assumptions, any of our changes, and just by hovering over any of the items that we have, we're able to see the notes that we took, the annotations. Okay. A couple of interesting things and special features that Streamline has. For example, lost sales. You'll see historically right here we have historical sales of 0. When you're forecasting, there's an important distinction to make between whether or not that's a lack of demand, which is how the application is seeing it now. You see that the model itself is based on the assumption that this 0 here is based on the fact there was a lack of demand. And you see that the forecast into the future was based on the same understanding. But we can tell Streamline that this was in fact not due to a lack of demand, but because we ran out of inventory. Very easy to do. We just set zeros to lost sales or yes. Lose my ability to click. When I reforecast, you'll see that even though the historical sales were still 0, Streamline has looked at this with the new information we've just given it and completely rebuilt the model and completely rebuilt the forecast with this new understanding that this 0 is because we had ran out of inventory. Another nice thing about Streamline is its ability to take information that you already have from other products. So I should have told us initially that the information we're looking at is representative of a hardware store. So here we have a bunch of lumber products, and you can see that each has its own history and its own model, its own forecast, until we get to the last one, and you see that it has no history and just 2 sales, making it difficult to come up with a forecast. Streamline is smart enough to be able to take the information from the 2 sales, and it's giving us what's known as a constant level. But we're able to come up with a more accurate forecast by using the aggregate information of the rest of the information it was grouped with. And we do that by changing the forecast approach. Currently it's set for bottom up, which means that each item gets its own history and its own model and its own forecast. But if we change this to top down for this product, what we're able to do is it's going to take the aggregate information of all of the other representative products within its group, and as soon as I forecast that, you're able to see that even though this item had no history, we were able to get a valid model and an accurate forecast. And there's another way to accomplish that. This was using the aggregate of its other products in its group, the other representative products in its group. I just set that back. Now, let's say I had a direct replacement model. I could use one from within its group, but really I could use any. So, for instance, if I knew that H2020 was a direct replacement product that this new product 2140 was replacing, 2140 was replacing H20, all I have to do is copy it to the clipboard, go to the new product, and just by using use model from and reforecasting, again, same product, had no history, but now I'm able to use the information from the product that it's replacing. So I'm able to use its model and its forecast. Okay. Another nice thing about Streamline as we go through this, especially if you're working in a group, if you're collaborating, as we go through each forecast, I'm able to approve or unapprove each of these. So if you're working in a group, first off, it tells everyone else that you've already gone through this and have approved it, so you can come back later and know what you've done. But for example, if we had a product that we just weren't sure of what changes needed to be done, it's very easy to set this product as needs attention. And you'll see that all of the other outer groupings in the hierarchy that we created. So even if this was closed, we know that there's a product that needs attention. It's very easy to find it. So once we've made our changes, very easy to approve it. Okay. that covers really the forecasting. What we're able to come up with, again, is a very accurate forecast of future demand or future sales. And by taking this information and making it actionable by being able to plan our inventory, makes Streamline a very powerful product. Okay, what I'm going to do now is, you saw me import data before. Now, I could have imported the inventory parameters at the same time I did the initial import, but Streamline is very flexible and allows us to separate that. So I'm able to now import the inventory parameters for my products. And you'll see what I've just brought in is the information on hand, any backorder information, any products in transition from our supplier. Here we have 100. Our lead time, how long it takes from ordering to receipt of these 100 goods, how often we order this particular item. And you know what? I'm going to give us a few more columns to show you just a bit more of what Streamline is capable of showing us. Okay. Whether or not there is a minimum or maximum constraint placed by our supplier on how many we're allowed to purchase. Rounding is helpful for products that come in a carton, since Streamline is going to give us a suggested order, or actually even create an order in your ERP system. By telling Streamline how many products come in a carton, Streamline is able to come up with an order that aligns with the carton. So, for example, it will not generate an order of 10.7 cartons. It'll round properly to order 11 cartons. Okay. Safety stock is probably one of the more important numbers that we have here. Streamline is, in giving us its expertise in our inventory planning, is ensuring that we don't have too much inventory, so that we don't have inventory tied up and capital tied up in that inventory, especially if that's perishable stuff, but also ensures that we don't run out of inventory. And the safety stock is able to be calculated in a number of different ways. The most accurate is by service level. And what we're asking Streamline to give us right now is a safety stock that's going to cover 97% of our sales. I'm going to up that to 99. And what that's going to do is increase our safety stock. It's a business decision. We're going to be increasing our carrying costs slightly, but now we will have sufficient inventory to ensure that we're covered for 99% of our sales. And you'll see that the safety stock numbers on some of these products have just increased. Okay. Well, currently I have our forecast horizon set for 12 months. I'm going to reduce that to 6 months, just to make this a little easier to show you. Okay. Now, remembering that we have 208 on hand, none backordered, we have 100 coming to us. It'll take 30 days to get here from our supplier from the time we've ordered it. We order it monthly. We have no other constraints. Our safety stock is set for 1. Let's take a look at what Streamline is suggesting for us. So Streamline has created an order plan. And again, remembering that we had 208 in stock at the beginning of October, Streamline is telling us not to order any, because throughout October, our demand will be 30, and that we got from the demand forecast that we saw previously, which is going to leave us 278. Now, the first product is not particularly interesting because we have so many on hand that we had none to order. So I'm going to go to the top product where we have 120 on hand, none back ordered, 50 coming to us, 15 days to get to us. We order it monthly, and again, no other constraints. And again, remembering that we have 120 on hand, Streamline is going to make our recommendations for us. I'm just going to get this just right so we can all see. Okay, since we have 120 on hand, throughout October, we're going to have a demand of 64. So at the beginning of October, Streamline tells us don't order any because we have 120. So once we've used our 64, at the end of October, we'll have 106 left. In November, Streamline is telling us to order 7 because throughout November, we'll be using 63, leaving 50, and so on. So in December, Streamline's telling us to order 83 because throughout December, we will be using 95, and at the end of December, we'll have 38 left over. An important thing to notice is that the on-hand is green because we have sufficient inventory for our current demand. If it's red, we don't have sufficient inventory for our current demand. But to continue the alerts that Streamline is giving us, you'll see that, remembering we had 120 on hand, that for October and November, we are slightly overstocked. But if we follow Streamline's ordering plan, by December, we're no longer overstocked and we are not understocked either. We're just right. So we're not tying up inventory and capital unnecessarily. And Streamline gives us a summary of that at the end of the report. Okay. That was a simple example. We're going to go through a slightly more advanced example right now. Okay. So you've seen me import information. This is a project that has already been brought in. And right now you can see that we're looking at it at our products by item. And just to show you, we can also view these by location. Okay, I'm going to go back to by item. And I just want to point out that in this project, pricing information had been imported as well. So what we're able to do is forecast revenue. So what you see here is our sales price per unit allows the application to forecast our revenue. And a nice thing about Streamline is that we're able to, let me pick one with more interesting information. Okay. So you see here that the product sells for $1.99, giving you again our revenue forecast. But it's very easy to make a change to that. So for our future planning, we can say that the price will go up to $2.25. And Streamline is smart enough to realize that you're not just going to set the price for the current month, but it extends it out until the next time you change it. And so on. So Streamline is able to allow us to adjust our sales price and calculate our revenue forecast immediately, which is certainly helpful for understanding what your financial position is going to be in the future, both for an individual item or in the aggregate for everything. Okay. I'm going to go and see if we have any questions. Please don't be shy. If you have any questions, you can type them right in the chat window. Okay, I see a question. Can Streamline connect to other ERP systems other than what's built in? Absolutely. Streamline has the capability of using any ERP system that uses an ODBC connector, which is pretty much everything. ODBC allows for applications to speak to databases. And we've built many ERP systems. And we're able to build ERP systems even to, integrations to ERP systems even that don't use an ODBC connector, provided they have an API, and most of them do. So thank you for your question. Let's see if we have any other questions. Can I load your inventory recommendations back to our database without exporting them to Excel? Absolutely. Our integrations are bidirectional. So if you have an ERP system, our integrations are able to take the historical data from your ERP system calculate the forecast, then make the recommendations for your inventory, and is able to actually generate purchase orders and push them back into your ERP system. So our integrations are bidirectional with your ERP systems. I see another question. We use Pronto. Can Streamline pull data from our system? Yes, absolutely. We've actually built a few integrations to Pronto. And again, these are bidirectional, so we are able to take the historical data from the ERP system and again, push the purchase orders from the inventory management results and push those back into Pronto.